Hello everyone, myself Firoza Mirza Khan and I am your public speaking coach. I would welcome you all for the last week of communication skills and personality development, a 4-week faculty development program, okay, starting from 27 July to 21st August. Okay, so as we're moving to the last, week of this communication skills and personality development, so I would be putting a light on three major parameters of communication skills and personality development, which is called as public speaking, stage courage, and anchoring rules. Okay, but before I move to that, I would like to brief you about myself. I'm an NIT certified trainer, Mumbai, and I would love to be a part of such kind of programs because I feel like whatever knowledge I'm having, I should share with the people and let them grow in their own personal lives. So I can ensure you all that after this session, you will be going to be a different version of yourself. So this is what I'm focusing as of now. So let me see how it goes, and I would like to definitely hear a feedback from your end. So now we are talking about public speaking. Now, as we move forward, we should know what public speaking is all about. So commonly, public speaking is framed as whenever I ask to the people around me, they have a standard definition of public speaking. That whenever you present something on the stage and it's a moderate speaking, which is called as a public speaking. But in my light, whatever you speak, whether it is a conversation with your colleagues, whether it's a conversation with your boss, or whether it's a conversation with your friends, your families, your relatives, everything, every communication has the public speaking skills. So in this module, we will be discussing about the public speaking, and then definitely we will move to the next two modules, that is the stage courage and anchoring rules. Now, moving forward, I will be in this module. I will be delivering you, such kind of presentation which has a high impact as a public speaker. So when I talk about public speaking, I would like to highlight a few of the things which is present right in front of you. As you can see in the screen, that I would like to put up one question which says that, do you feel cool, calm, and collected? If you have this quality, then it is definitely you're going to be rise as a great public speaker. But do you feel stressed out? Do you feel stressed out when you go to the stage, or when you talk to many people, you fumble in between, you feel nervousness, or you start chewing your nails, or you're biting your teeth. Many things happens when we talk about this public speaking skills. So if you have this stressed out factor, which is the foremost common cause in this present scenario, everything is a stress. To get up in the morning, in the next morning, when we are about to sleep, and when we think that what you're going to do in the next morning, you're going to get up in the morning, you're going to you're going to cook the food, what food you're going to cook, or what are your goals for next day. Even when we think about this kind of things, there is a stress which comes in us, and it actually impacts our communication skills. Now, I want you all to perform this small exercise as soon as when you see this PowerPoint presentation. So remember one of your experiences of public speaking in public. You have to remember this whenever you are talking to your friend. Think of those two words or short phrases that describe what you remember when you had a small conversation. Maybe it's a general conversation of asking something, or maybe discussing the general things. So why I'm asking you to do this exercise is because you will be able to highlight yourself, that where you stand and what kind of thing is still need to be worked upon. So when you do this exercise, you will definitely going to note it down, that what are your experiences of speaking in public, even if it's a small note, even if you have sang a song, or even if you have told a short poem or a poetry, or whatever you have spoken in front of in a public, you have to note it down. What was that sentence, do you remember about, and what was the root cause, how confident you are, what made you stop saying many things which were there in your mind but you couldn't spoke. So after doing this exercise, you will come to know what public speaking is all about. As you can see on your screen, that public speaking is something, one of the highest required stages. As you can see in the graph, the arrow, the everything is like, it is in the highest, the topmost requirement in today's scenario, because everything is your communication. Now, as we are living in this pandemic, when we talk to people, it's all about more of conversation. You are working from home, most of the people are working from home, and they want to connect with people, and they want to build a good rapport with their bosses, with the managers, with their TL. So it's a lot of communication which is happening. You cannot going to stop yourself at certain limit and say no, you can't speak. This is not something you don't want. You have to speak, because now the technology is moving towards more of communication strategies. And when it comes to communication strategies, the foremost things you want is as a fluent public speaker. So when you speak, what you speak, how you speak, why you speak, everything comes in that. Okay. Now, another exercise I would like you to do, that is think of good and bad presentations you have seen. So, talk with your neighbors about what worked, what didn't, and how you felt as an audience member. See, it's very important. When we see a good public speaker, we feel very happy. Oh, wow, such a nice way he's talking. But when we see a bad public speaker, we feel extremely bad that we start putting the names to that particular person, stating that no, the voice was not good, the message was not properly reached. These kind of things, when we say, when we present ourselves, when we see a presenter as a bad presenter, so this counts in us as well. It is very easy to get the pointers for others, but it's very difficult to see a good presentation in ourselves. So I would like to do this exercise because it is going to really helpful for you, that what are the good presentations and what are the bad presentations. So at the end of this exercise, you will be having a points of a good presenter and a bad presenter. So you have to focus on bad presenter. So when you focus on being how a bad presenter quality is all about, you will definitely not going to do that. Okay. So this is what we have to do it. Now, what are the do's here? What you have to do here in when you move, as we move to learning of public speaking skills, so what are the do's you will be doing it? So to start with, I would like to go each one of you to this TEDx talk. It is a great example of a super public speaker trainer. So when you see this speech, you should see how the person is starting and how it is moving to the entire crowd. So it's highly important. I would highly recommend you all to watch this video after the presentation. Okay. Now, what are the key ingredients you want, okay, to when we look up in your speech, what are the key ingredients when we look it for? So the first thing you need to keep it in your mind is keep it very simple, okay? Now, most of the people, they work very hard, they hunt a lot of big words to present in their presentation. But I'll tell you honestly, for the audience, it's not important which word you are using, why you are using, it's not important. It's how you're bringing the connectivity, how you're connecting to the audience. That is what they're actually looking for. Okay. Now, emotional level, when we talk about, so I would definitely recommend that yes, emotion is it has a very great power when we present something. Let's say, for example, take a very small example of a small conversation between a boss and an employee. Okay, and an employee wants boss to get convinced with something. So when the employee tries it, what happens here? The emotion factor It might be funny, sad, or surprising. So the boss tries to get indulged into what an employee is trying to say. They will love to listen you, because it is the emotions are connecting the people around you. So whenever you are presenting something, I would definitely recommend you to use the emotions in your speech, in your talks. Okay, whatever, start with the story, start with the story of your life. They don't want to hear what Bill Clinton has done, what is a Barack Obama doing, and what the world is doing. It's your story. When you present yourself, the people will love to hear you, because this is what it brings, something new, some refreshing things in the audience. And emotions are something, it's going to always work out in your speech. Okay, images. When you present or your PowerPoints presentations, make sure that you have a lot of images. Okay, and more of writing work, because when we go for images, it attracts more. And when we go for write-ups in the presentation, the people won't love to see that, and they don't have much time to read it. But when we are conveying the message with the help of images, it's more helpful and more easier for you. Okay, make sure that you are very positive, and you are timekeeping. Okay, so timekeeping is something, it counts you to take your presentation at certain level, where to stop, how to stop. You should know when you're presenting your speech. Okay, prepare yourself. You need to plan yourself, create a structure of your presentation, beginning, middle, and the end. Then try and know your audience. Okay, who is your audience, what kind of expertise languages they have. Include your notes. Slow down wherever it is required. Slow down wherever it is required. Take a breathe, give them some activity. Okay, have a good smile on your face. Never show your nervousness to the audience, because they capture it. They feel it. They can, they can sense it. So it brings a very bad impact to the audience when we talk or present ourselves as a bad communicator. So we have to, even though we are nervous, but we have to have that control in our voice. And we should not portray in such a manner that we are feeling nervous. We should show them that no matter what, we are going to present in our best ways. It's highly, highly, highly important. Then, practicing your presentation, time yourself out loud on your own. Record your video. Okay, when you record your video and when you see yourself on the screen, you will come to know what are the things you are not supposed to do it. Okay, don't get distracted, that don't feel demotivated as well, that no, I should not have done this, I should have done this. No, it is not about categorizing your mistake, but yes, somehow it is improvising you to the next level, that you should not repeat this kind of mistake. So it's highly important that whenever you are presenting something, you should practice your presentation in front of your friend, in front of your colleague, or anyone. The most important thing while practicing your presentation, you should see that where you want to practice and why are you doing this. What are your expectations from your presentation? And I'm sure you're going to get the best out of this. Then when we talk about the body language, okay, what is body language? When we talk about the body language, most of the people have a misconception. They think the body language is how we talk, how we present ourselves. It's about more of talk. No, it's not. Like, if you can see on the screen, I have presented one communication cycle, which says a visualization is 55%, your vocal quality is 38%, and your communication is only 7%. So you can see, when we talk about our body language, it's not about your communication. It's about how you present yourself, how you interact with the audience, how you move your hands, your gesture. Sometimes, you just turn your hands back, and you stop yourself and you fold your hands. This is something you should avoid it. You should not do it, because when you are doing like this, you are actually stopping yourself to connect with the audience. Okay, so your hand movements should be continuous, your gestures, your everything. These are your body language. Okay, not what you talk. The audience don't want to hear you what are you talking. Okay, it's not about only your talk, it's about your gestures, your the way you're moving your hands, the way you're building the connection with the audience. Sometimes you know your eye contact with the audience, it really works in such a manner that you don't have to put a lot of effort in speaking. They can see in your eyes, you have to be so connected. So this is what I mean about your body language here. So definitely you have to smile and use your hand gestures, engage your audience, okay? And you know, I always work in dopamine. It's a chemical which work as a dopamine. Okay, you can search it. Okay, this is very helpful when you go to dopamine. It's like a hormone that sounds very happy. Okay, you work for yourself and you want to see in the same way in others. Okay, so this is what a dopamine is all about. Eye contact, of course you have to look around. It doesn't mean that you're continuously just staring at one person. No, it's about you know, keeping your eyes all over the crowd. Okay, even if it is two-person, you have to build the eye contact with the another person as well. It's not about talking to one person. When you're talking to two-person at the same time, you need to build an eye contact, a good and positive eye contact, I must say that. Okay, then move around, keep moving around. Okay, don't sit down at one place when you're presenting something. Okay, when you're moving around, it means that you're trying to get connect with the audience. Okay, I'll tell you something about power poses. Okay, it is very much required when you present yourself. Okay, when you present in the speech, so how do you stand, how do you present yourself? Okay, I would like to put an eye on Kadi suggest. Okay, for example, standing 2 minutes in a power pose before giving a presentation, it's to help you boost your confidence. Okay, now when I'm talking about the power poses, we are so nervous before presenting ourselves. So this power poses is going to help you. It is going to let you you know, calm down and let you feel more confident. Now how does it's going to impact in your presentation? Okay, because this you're going to do it before your presentation. Okay, now how it is going to give an impact when you speak in front of the audience, or maybe in front of you know, short speech with your bosses or with your colleagues or with your friends. What happens is we continuously talk. Okay, so the breathing process is suddenly it requires certain, you know, breaks. So when you do power poses, when you start talking in front of the audience, it will automatically start working on your breaths as well. So whenever you're presenting something, I would definitely recommend you to go for this power pose. It's highly helpful. Okay. Now tips, how to keep calm yourself. See, when your mind is cool, okay, you are going to focus on the things. But when you have too many things in your mind, I'm sure it's going to be very challenging for you to, you know, get into the things and get the great output. Okay. So if you're focused on if you're focused on your great outputs, then you have to be very calm. So how do you do it? Go for a walk. Okay, take some fresh air, then visualize something very calming. Okay, have a positive visualization in your mind. Okay, and then take a deep relaxation by deep breathing and breathe out. Then place a backup questions in the audience. Okay, now, you're thinking that you're feeling very stressed out because of your presentation. So, you have to design your presentation in such a manner that you have a lot of backup questions planned, so that whenever you're feeling that, okay, this is not going as per your planned you know, presentation, then you have to throw back that questions to the audience, give them 2-3 minutes of time to think, and meanwhile even you get the chance to think upon how to go ahead with your entire presentation. So these are the tips of keeping calm during the presentation, and of course just before your presentation. Now the golden rules. Okay, compose yourself. Composing yourself is very important. Okay, compose yourself. When I talk, you need to, you know, regenerate yourself and transform yourself into completely new. Now every person knows that what is bad in us. Okay, where we are going bad. Just stop it. Stop that thing and go to the good things, which is going to definitely be a helpful things for you, and it's going to take you to the growth factor. Okay. Then familiarize yourself with the room. Yeah. Think about your attire, your suits. Of course, your what you're wearing is also very important. Don't get stuck behind the lectern, move around. Okay, then stick to the time and your timings, smile and enjoy yourself. You know what, more when you are smiling, the moment you're smiling on the stage, it gives such a positive vibes to the audiences, of course, and you feel better and you feel more connected to the audience. So I follow this golden rules when I present myself in front of the audience, and I would definitely request you to go with this uh, golden rules. Okay, now what you should not do, what you should not do, there is one video I have placed in this PowerPoint presentation. I would definitely recommend you to download this and have a look on what not to do. Okay, but the things you should avoid, I'm going to share here is and ah. Oh God, we still have a habit of doing it. And ah. So this thing, when we present ourselves in front of the audience, what happens with this and ah process is that we are actually portraying in front of the audience that we don't know the presentation parts or the explanations of the contents of the presentation. That's why this and ah factor comes. Now, how do you avoid it? Okay, how do you avoid it? You need to avoid this with the help of your gestures, okay, your body language. Okay, when you're having that body language comfortness and talking all together, then automatically your and will reduce, and you have to do a very mild exercises of your hands, your shoulders, everything. So when these things are relaxed, you feel more focused, and automatically this and factor will be removed. Okay, and with your presentation, what do we do? Okay, what do we do? Most of us, as you can see the last two slides, we are turning back and we are actually looking towards your presentation, and then we are reading from the notes. And what we are doing with this, with our PowerPoint, is we are actually giving a death to our PowerPoint presentation. So when you're presenting yourself, make sure that just 2-3 days before your presentation, you should know the next slide before the next slide turns it. So each and every slide, you should research it, you should try and practice this as much as you can. Okay, so your presentation should also need to work upon when you are working on yourself to present in front of the audience. Okay, now here Mrs. Clinton has some words to share with you, which is very impactful, and I really liked it. Okay, the way she said in this thoughts. Okay, well, she is telling that I am not Barack Obama. Okay, I'm not Bill Clinton. Both of them, they carry themselves with naturalness that is so very appealing to audience. Okay, but I'm married to one and I've worked for the other, so I know how they work hard at being natural. Okay, it's not something they just dial in. They work and they practice what they are going to say. It's not they are trying to somebody else. See this, it's not they are trying to somebody else, but it's hard to work to present yourself in the best possible way. Okay, so when you're presenting, you are not supposed to present like some other speaker. You have to be very natural for yourself. Okay, you are not supposed to copy anybody. You have to be an original version of yourself. And yes, each one of us has a better version of ourselves. Okay, now practice makes perfect. Okay, I have certain activities which I would love you to perform if you are if you want to be a fluent public speaker. So in a group of 4 and 6, each person in turn for 1 minute about their holiday. After each speaker, take 1 minute to provide constructive feedback. Agree one person to report back to the group on second thing and the key things to group that is learned. Okay, I want you to perform this activity if you are unable to perform in a group of 4 and 6, try with 2 to 3 people at your home. So maybe you will come to know what I'm trying to talk about with the help of this activity. Okay, now I have to focus on shift and enter. Okay, now every one of us have a certain uh, good qualities as well as bad qualities. So if we are more focused on bad qualities, we have to take a shift. We have to take a shift to the good quality, to the good qualities, and enter it completely. That is why I would like to introduce a shift and enter concept when it comes to public speaking. How much shift and enter concept are you are in? You need to research this a lot. Okay, so it will definitely take you to more of good qualities, and as you are increasing and you're learning and you're becoming moving towards the good qualities. So what will happen after this is automatically we are entering into the positive vibes, and all our negative things are moving way ahead from us. So when we are entering into the positive outcomes, of course you're going to be a fluent public speaker. Okay, now dealing with the unexpected. What happens here is whenever you're presenting something, you need to arrive early, make sure that everything is working. You know what, whenever I have my presentation, I go one day before to see everything is there at that place or not, no matter how far is the place. I keep checking everything, and I have a backup plan ready. If my presentation is not working in my pen drive, then I should have a backup plan ready. Stay calm. Okay, stay calm. Whenever you're thinking that certain things are not working out, stay calm. It's okay. There is a possibility of the mistakes. You are not responsible for it. Many people are there to manage. Okay, and you need to focus on what you're going to present. How do you engage your audience is very important. Okay, have an organizer contact details in your hand in case if you're running late. So if you're running late, you should definitely inform the people, so that your impact should always be in a positive side. When you forget to inform the people, they will form you a less responsible person. Okay, again I have one more video. I would like to you all to check with this video. It's such a beautiful presentation of Mr. Barack Obama. It will highlight you that how do you lead the audiences. Okay, keep going my dear people. It's get up, and definitely it's going to be better every time. Okay, you need to find the opportunities, personal and at work. Okay, every place, every learning has certain opportunities. Take that opportunity. Don't always be behind. Okay, always try to be the limelight of certain things, so that it will add a confidence level in you, and people will count you everywhere. Okay, and always be honest to get the feedback from the people. I'm not telling you if some people are giving you a negative feedback, it means you are a bad speaker. No, we all are learning, and all the great speakers were the bad speakers first, and then gradually they have become the great speaker. So and I would recommend you that you should keep watching the TED Talks. When we watch the TED Talks, you will get the idea of how to indulge into more of talks. And always this TED Talks people, they initiate the things with a good kind of story which is very connective to with the audiences. Now, how can you share your knowledge? Spend 2 minutes of your own. What opportunities could find to practice your skills? And then, can you think of ways, share your knowledge with other colleagues, support researchers, junior team members, or even your boss? See, sharing knowledge is something the people will see that you have a passion to go ahead in your life. So keep your passion alive here. Okay, it's not about when you are passionless or something, you are not a good public speaker. This is related to your passion. So when you're keeping alive your passion, it means you're focused and you can talk more to the people about it. So automatically when you're talking, you're initiating, you're communicating, and you are going to be a fluent public speaker here. Okay. Again, I have one activity here. So practice makes perfect. I always say that whenever you want to be a great public speaker, so you have to practice, practice, and practice a lot. Okay. I repeated the same activity here, each person in turn. Now when you do this activity, okay, I would really love to hear that what was your output of after doing this activity. Okay. Now here I have posted my email ID as well as my telephone. Okay. We will love to hear you. Okay. And the second thing is that as we have focused and put an eye on public speaking, what is it all about, in our next presentation we will be moving to the stage courage, why it is important. So in our next presentation we will focus on stage courage. Okay. And I would request everyone to practice this this kind of activities, and do watch the videos which I have shared with you all. And in case of any queries, you can connect with me on my email and on my phone. Okay. I would love to hear you in the next session. Okay. And I'm very excited also to present about the stage courage in my next video. Okay, so looking forward to meet you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day.